former Sotheby's boss, Jason Rohde, has been sentenced to 20 years in jail for the killing of his wife, Susan. She was found dead in the bathroom of a Stellenbosch Wineland hotel room back in July of 2016. Judge Hayat Salih Hlope says her murder was callous and shocking.
The murder of your wife was callous, it was brutal and shocking. Susan died a painful and gruesome death. She did not die instantly. It took her a while to die. She suffered in the last moments of her life, eventually succumbing to her death. The degree of violence which you had meted out at your wife was egregious. It was excessive and exhibits horrifying aggression. You executed successive blows and fatal force in the taking of her life and completely disregarded her bodily integrity. It is a significant feature of this crime that you did not hesitate in the commission thereof, for you did not call for medical assistance. Instead, you left her to die and you waited for her to die.
Now, ENCA's Nadine Theron is at the Western Cape High Court. That's where sentencing has just concluded. She joins us now live. Nadine, by all accounts, an incredibly scathing judgment delivered just moments ago. And we got a glimpse of Jason Rohde as he was led down to the holding cells. Not much emotion that we could see on camera. Perhaps from your vantage point, you saw some reaction from him?
No, he's been showing the same reactions and he's putting on the same mask ever since this trial started. He always has a kind of an absent look in his eyes, and I think he's accepted his fate. I think he knew that he will be going to prison, and he's still, his defense team argues that he still maintains his innocence, and they will be trying to apply for an appeal for this sentence.
Now, Judge Salih Hlope mentioning the family of Susan Rohde, particularly, of course, the daughters she shares with Jason Rohde in her judgment. Several times she mentions them, and just the effect of what Susan Rohde's murder has had on their lives, on their future. Any family members in court today?
Yes, Jason Rohde's mother and his stepfather who raised him were sitting next to him in court. They've been supporting him, and his mom also testified for the mitigation of his sentence a week ago, saying that she's never had any problems with Jason. She's never heard that he's ever been aggressive. He's never been in a fight before, and she, I think, believes in his innocence still. But none of his daughters were here.
Nadine, let's just go through some of the sort of more outstanding parts of this judgment. There are so many different powerful parts of the judgment, but let's talk about how the judge linked his profession of selling houses and putting up show houses to how he arranged, in her opinion, her body to tell the story of the suicide that he had concocted.
Yes, that was very interesting. Judge Salih Hlope went and researched what estate agents do, and she directly quoted from some international estate agents' websites about how it's all about the first impression you create, and about how you have to prepare, and that you have to instantly sell an image. And she says that's what Jason did when he staged a suicide scene after he murdered Susan. She said he sold the scene to the police who came to it, and that he prepared for it, and he carefully staged it so as to sell this scene that he had staged.
And of course, as you said, a number of people testifying in mitigation of sentence. His mother was among those people. She described a very loving person, a very caring person. Judge Salih Hlope saying there are a number of love stories in Jason Rohde's life, that of him and his mistress, the love between him and his daughters and his mothers, let's say. But at the end of the day, she says it was his self-love that trumped all.
Yes, Judge Sally Tlhophe referred to a statement Jason made in court earlier when she asked him what the impact of Susan's death was and the absence of Susan, what that meant to him in his own life. And his answer was that he hadn't had time to mourn her death yet, as he had been fighting for his own life. And she said that is a clear example about how it's all about him. He never really considered the impact the absence of Susan's life would have on the world, on her children, his own children, or on any of her loved ones. It was the crime he committed completely out of selfish reasons. And it was all about self-love, not about love for his daughters.
Yeah. And what did she say about deviating from the minimum prescribed sentence of 15 years?
Well, she said that the violent nature and the callousness of the crime and the fact that he went so far as to stage the suicide scene, which she said added insult to injury to Susan's legacy and will have left her loved ones confused and tormented for the rest of their lives. She says that far outweighs the mitigating arguments that the defence team made, which were based on his personal circumstances.
Yeah, and I also remember one part of her judgment dealing with the fact that it happened in the sanctity of their private space, and that is where Susan Rohde would have felt safe, where she would have sought security. Thanks very much for that update. Our reporter Nadine Theron live to us there from the Western Cape High Court. It is our breaking news story this hour. Jason Rohde sentenced to an effective 20 years in prison for the murder of his wife and for the staging of her suicide.